Phil Taylor, professional darts legend, went from making toilet roll holders for £52 a week to earning £8.5 million, proving that ordinary people from working class backgrounds can achieve extraordinary financial success through a game once confined to smoky pub backrooms. These are the stories of professional darts players who transform from factory floors, rooftops, and rugby pitches to becoming millionaires. Remarkable journeys of personal redemption broadcast live on Sky Sports to millions worldwide. An 18-year-old signed a £20 million Target Darts sponsorship deal. A roofer conquered crippling anxiety to lift the Sid Waddle Trophy at Alexandra Palace. And a postman became a multi-millionaire throwing tungsten arrows from the oche. These transformations represent some of sport's most unlikely ascents, where precision from the 22-foot throwing line can change lives forever. Burslem, Stoke-on-Trent gave Phil Taylor a childhood that defined working-class struggle in its rawest form. The family lived in a dilapidated terraced house, so condemned that the upstairs was boarded up, which forced them to sleep downstairs, and young Phil often scavenged for coal and scrap metal with his parents while the house sat there with no electricity or running water. School ended at 16, then came a series of manual jobs before he landed at a ceramics factory making toilet roll holders for £52 per week, which works out to approximately £2,700 annually. £22 weekly from pub work supplemented that income, and by 25 he had, in his own words, hardly thrown a dart in anger from the oche. Money was tight enough that when he bought his first home, a £7,500 terraced house with an £80 monthly mortgage, winning £500 in pub darts games to install a shower felt like moving into Buckingham Palace. Eric Bristow changed everything when he recognised Taylor's potential. The world's dominant player at the time invested £10,000, equivalent to approximately £50,000 today, to support Taylor's family while he pursued professional darts. Taylor later put it simply, "I would not have had a chance to start anything without it." 3 years after leaving the factory floor, Taylor won his first world championship in 1990 as a 125-1 outsider, defeating his mentor Bristow 6-1 in the final at Alexandra Palace, known as Ali Pali to darts fans worldwide. What followed was the most dominant career in darts history, with Taylor winning 8 consecutive PDC World Championships from 1995 to 2002. 21 World Championship finals followed, 214 professional titles piled up, and his 16 World Championships remain a record that may never be broken. 11 televised 9-dart finishes came along the way, each requiring the perfect sequence of 180, 180, 141 checkout to achieve the 9-dart maximum. The financial transformation was staggering, because from earning £2,700 annually at the factory, Taylor accumulated over £8.5 million in prize money, which represents a 3,000-fold increase. He held the world #1 ranking for 13 years straight on the PDC Order of Merit, the sport's 2-year rolling ranking system that determines seedings for major tournaments. Retirement came at 64 following hip replacement surgery, and Taylor maintains an estimated net worth of £5 to £8 million while being rated among Britain's 10 greatest sportsmen. Not bad for someone who once made toilet roll holders in Stoke-on-Trent. Phil Taylor's story speaks to rapid ascent, but Peter Wright's journey tells a different tale about perseverance against crushing odds from the oche. Livingston, Scotland in 1970 brought Wright into the world to a 16-year-old single mother, and he never met his father, who was imprisoned at his birth. When Wright turned 3, his mother fled to London, fearing family members would take him away. The 1995 BDO World Darts Championship marked his professional debut at 24, and then he quit professional darts entirely for 12 years to work as a builder and tyre fitter. Local leagues kept him connected to the game while he struggled financially, and as Wright described it, obviously working hard and paying your bills and having nothing left at the end of the month. 2007 changed his trajectory when he sat watching the Grand Slam of darts on Sky Sports with his wife Joanne and claimed he could beat the players on screen. She responded with a simple challenge: Why don't you give it a shot? Her father and she backed him financially to resume his career. Years of agonizing near misses followed because Wright lost the 2014 World Championship final to Michael van Gerwen, and then he lost 10 major televised finals before finally breaking through with his double-out technique, perfected through countless hours of practice. January 1st, 2020 arrived when Wright was 49 years and 297 days old, making him the oldest first-time world champion after he beat Van Gerwen 7-3 to claim the Sid Waddell Trophy. Fighting back tears, his words were direct. Many people said I'm a runner-up guy. Now I'm a winner of the biggest of the lot. A second world title came in 2022, lifting him to world number 1 at 51 on the PDC Order of Merit. And from earning just £1,200 in his first full PDC season in 2008, Wright has accumulated over £4 million in career prize money. The wealth doesn't change his daily life much because wife Joanne, who creates his iconic mohawk hairstyles, gives him only a £200 weekly allowance. Wright explains the arrangement clearly. Joe sorts out the business side for when I retire. I'm probably the poorest darts player who's world number 1. Luke Humphries' transformation demonstrates that the arts can heal minds as well as bank accounts, and his story goes deeper than numbers on a check or perfect treble 20 scoring. 6 years in the family roofing business alongside his father Mark and brother Stuart in Newbury came before he turned professional, and that's when the real battle began beyond the 22-foot throwing line. 2017 brought disaster approximately 1 month before his World Championship debut, when Humphries developed what would become a debilitating panic and anxiety disorder. His explanation captures the terror. I had a bad experience where I was having palpitations in my chest, and it spooked me since that day. I've had an obsession with having a heart attack, worrying if it's beating fine. Doctors confirmed his heart was medically sound, but the psychological torment persisted regardless. The 2019 German Darts Open marked a breaking point when he led James Wade 5-2, suffered a severe anxiety attack on stage while attempting his checkout, and lost 6-5. Quitting the sport entirely crossed his mind seriously, and he described the struggle in stark terms. It's like facing 2 battles. One battle is the fight against anxiety and panic in your mind, and the other is where you're trying to win a game of darts. A month-long break came next, followed by cognitive behavioral therapy and consultations with a hypnotherapist, and then he transformed his physical health by losing 4 stone, that's 56 pounds, during COVID lockdowns through exercise and diet changes. The 2024 World Championship final against teenage sensation Luke Littler completed the transformation when Humphries trailed 2-4, but won 5 consecutive sets to claim the £500,000 prize and the Sid Waddell Trophy, becoming world number 1 on the PDC Order of Merit. His reflection on the victory reveals everything. It feels that much greater because of the adversity that I've gone through. If there are struggles in your life, you can still go on and achieve great things. Roofing wages transformed into over £2.75 million in career earnings. 8 major titles followed, and his ranking has stayed near the top of professional darts. King Charles's 2025 birthday honours brought him an MBE. No transformation in darts history has occurred as rapidly as Luke Littler's ascent, and the numbers still seem impossible even after they happened on Sky Sports broadcasts worldwide. January 21st, 2007 brought him into the world to taxi driver Anthony Buckley and candle shop employee Lisa Littler in Warrington, and he threw his first 180 at age 6 before achieving his first 9-dart finish, 180, 180, 141 checkout at 13. Before the 2024 World Championship, Littler had earned approximately £2,500 to £3,400 in amateur prize money while sitting at rank 164th in the world at 66 to 1 odds on the PDC Order of Merit. 2 weeks later, everything changed when he reached the final as a 16-year-old, earned £200,000 as runner-up, and became the youngest PDC World Championship finalist ever at Alexandra Palace. Google named him Britain's most searched athlete of 2024. What followed defied comprehension because he won the 2024 Premier League darts for approximately £300,000, then the 2024 Grand Slam of Darts for £150,000, and then the 2025 World Championship for £500,000, claiming his first Sid Waddell Trophy. January 2026 brought his second consecutive World Championship victory, but this time for £1 million, making him the first £1 million darts champion in history, with his double L finish witnessed by millions on Sky Sports. Prize money was just the beginning though, and that's when the real wealth arrived. January 2026 brought a £20 million 10-year deal with Target Darts, representing the most lucrative sponsorship in darts history, while his company, Luke Littler Darts Limited, reported cash reserves exceeding £1 million in the 2024 tax year. D16. Property Group Limited came next for property investments. The family moved to a 5-bedroom mansion with an indoor swimming pool, electric gates and gym, leaving the working-class Warrington household behind completely. 18 years old, with 51 career titles, including 10 major championships, Littler became the youngest world #1 in PDC history in November 2025 on the PDC Order of Merit. His estimated net worth of £1.6 to £2.4 million could reach £100 million over the next decade if his trajectory continues at this pace. 2 years took him from obscurity to becoming darts' wealthiest young player, and the transformation continues to accelerate beyond anyone's wildest predictions at the Yoki. Luke Littler represents darts' explosive growth, but Michael van Gerwen represents its sustained excellence and earning power over time from the 22-foot throwing line. The Dutchman worked as a tiler before turning professional and winning the Windmill World Masters at just 17 years and 174 days old in 2006 made him the youngest champion in that event's history, a record that still stands. Dominance produced staggering financial returns, with over £11.9 million in career prize money according to PDPA statistics, making him the highest earning darts player ever and surpassing Phil Taylor. 3 World Championship wins in 2014, 2017 and 2019 earned £1.1 million combined, while his record 7 Premier League darts titles generated over £2.2 million. £6 to £7 million represents his estimated net worth. World #1 for over 2,500 consecutive days from 2014 to 2021 meant more than 7 years at the top of the PDC Order of Merit, and he remains the only player to have won every PDC televised title while accumulating a record 159 plus total PDC titles. His checkout accuracy and treble 20 scoring remain legendary. His lifestyle reflects the success clearly: a home in Vleeman valued at approximately £2 million, a luxury Amsterdam apartment, and a £250,000 Rolls-Royce Ghost sitting in the garage. 2025 proved personally devastating despite professional success though, and that's when Van Gerwen's marriage to Daphne ended after 10 plus years while his father underwent cancer treatment requiring nose amputation. "I couldn't write this script myself," he said, while describing it as the worst year of his life. The 2025 World Series of Darts Finals brought victory regardless, and he embraced his daughter Zoe on stage with words that captured everything. "Everyone knows I've had a difficult time. It means the world to me." Raymond van Barneveld's journey encompasses both the highest peaks and darkest valleys darts has produced, and his story refuses to follow a simple arc from the Yoki. PTT Postman, work in the Netherlands, brought approximately $1,000 monthly, while Van Barneveld struggled to support his wife and 3 children and pursue darts professionally at the same time. 5 World Championship titles, 4 BDO, World Darts Championship and 1 PDC, transformed that reality completely. Career earnings reaching over £4 million arrived, along with sponsorship deals from Unicorn and Target Darts, An income of approximately $40,000 monthly came at his peak. The 2007 PDC World Championship final against Phil Taylor at Alexandra Palace, often called the greatest darts match of all time, saw Van Barneveld recover from 3-0 down to win a sudden death final leg with a perfect double-out finish, and that victory made him the first player to win both BDO and PDC World titles. Success brought demons instead of peace though, and that's when things fell apart. January 2014 brought his revelation that he was receiving therapy for depression caused by the monotony of traveling and playing in events every week. January 2019 ended his 25-year marriage to Sylvia. His final World Championship that month brought a first-round loss and a devastating interview that revealed his mental state. "I will hate myself every single day. I will never forgive myself, never, ever." Childhood trauma surfaces in his interviews now, along with beliefs that he was a failure, and dips in form still trigger thoughts of, "See, you still can't do anything." Type 2 diabetes came with a diagnosis in 2009. Exhaustion brought a collapse at a 2021 event, and he returned to competition partly to secure his financial future. 36th on the PDC Order of Merit. At age 58, Van Barneveld's comeback, fueled by new partner Julia Evans, who helped him through depression, demonstrates that redemption stories can have second chapters. £30,000 to £40,000 annually came from Gerwyn Price's work as a rugby union hooker for Welsh Premier Division sides Neath and Cross Keys, and that's when injuries and limited financial growth threatened his future. Fellow Welsh darts professional Barry Bates advised him to enter PDC qualifying school, known as Q School, in January 2014 to earn his tour card, and Price's admission about his initial goals reveals his mindset. "I wasn't bothered about winning tournaments at the beginning. I just wanted to win enough money so I could stay on the tour and earn a living for my family." Winning his tour card through Q School started the journey. Steady improvement followed, and becoming the first Q School graduate to win the World Championship arrived when he defeated Gary Anderson 7-3 in January 2021 for the £500,000 prize and the Sid Waddell Trophy, representing 12 to 16 times his annual rugby salary in one tournament. £4.2 million in career earnings now sit in his account. £3 to £4 million represents his estimated net worth, and multiple business ventures, including a fish and chip shop in his hometown of Markham, have diversified his income. The transformation represents a complete sports career pivot from contact sport athlete to precision sport millionaire, mastering the treble 20. 8 consecutive major televised finals lost before his breakthrough earned Michael Smith the unwanted label of darts' nearly man, and the losses seemed to confirm his destiny despite his skill from the oche. St Helens brought him into the world where his parents ran a pub, and his nickname Bully Boy originated from being slammed around in cow manure while tagging calves on a cattle farm. 15 years old and on crutches after a bike accident brought his first 180. The 2019 World Championship final loss to Van Gerwen 3-7 stung badly, but the 2022 final loss to Peter Wright 5-7 after leading 5-4 seemed to confirm he would never win the biggest prize. January 3rd, 2023 changed everything in the World Championship final against Van Gerwen when the match stood at 3-all. Van Gerwen missed double 12 for a 9-dart finish, 180, 180, 121, and that's when Smith immediately stepped up and hit his own perfect leg with 180, 180, 141 checkout, becoming only the second 9-darter in a PDC World Championship final, before winning 7-4 and claiming the £500,000 prize and Sid Waddell Trophy along with the world #1 ranking on the PDC Order of Merit. His reflection on the moment captures everything. "The way I felt when I won will never be topped, no matter what I do in this sport. To be world champion and world #1 is amazing." £4.1 million in career earnings have accumulated since then, and St Helens Borough Council nominated him for Freedom of the Borough, the highest honour they can award. Eric Bristow, investing £10,000 in Phil Taylor, started the sport's most significant mentorship relationship, and Taylor then became mentor to Adrian Lewis. 23 world championships across 3 players came from this chain. Working-class Hackney brought Bristow into the world. Grammar school educated him before he left at 14, and he admitted to low-level gang activity in his youth. Darts transformed from pub pastime to mainstream television entertainment through his efforts. 5 world championships followed, and over £1 million in prize money came when prize funds were a fraction of today's levels. His battles with dartitis, the psychological condition affecting throwing accuracy, became legendary. Stoke-on-Trent produced Lewis just like Taylor. Construction work filled his days before becoming Taylor's practice partner, and back-to-back world championships arrived in 2011 and 2012. The first 9-dart finish in a world championship final came against Gary Anderson during that run. 180, 180, 141 checkout, perfectly executed. £3.6 million in career prize money accumulated, but a third world title never materialised. Personal struggles, including family health issues, led to an indefinite break from darts announced in April 2023. And after signing with Modus Sports Management in 2025, he's considering a return through Q School with clear intentions. If I come back, I'll do it through Q School. I don't want freebies. A dartboard as a Christmas gift in 1987 arrived when John Parr was 21 and working in retail in Toronto, and 6 years later, he became the first non-British world champion at the 1994 BDO World Darts Championship. His 2003 PDC final victory over Phil Taylor 7-6 at Alexandra Palace ended Taylor's run of 8 consecutive world titles, proving that North Americans could compete at the highest level. Over £960,000 in career prize money came across 3 world championships. 59 years old now and working primarily as a television commentator for Sky Sports, Part's transformation from Canadian retail worker to 3-time world champion opened doors for global participation in professional darts. Meanwhile, female players like Fallon Sherrock and Bo Greaves continue breaking barriers in professional darts, with Sherrock becoming the first woman to win a match at the PDC World Championship, and Greaves dominating women's darts while competing in mixed gender tournaments, proving the sport's appeal transcends traditional boundaries. Working class origins, providing motivation, mentorship, accelerating development, and mental resilience proving as important as physical skill from the Oki connect these players across eras and backgrounds. Financial transformation has accelerated dramatically because Phil Taylor's £8.5 million career earnings took 30 years to accumulate, while Luke Littler may earn more than that by age 25 through prize money and his £20 million Target Darts sponsorship deal. Personal transformations remain more compelling than the bank balances though, with Luke Humphries conquering anxiety to become world champion, Peter Wright winning at 49 after 2 decades of failure, and Raymond van Barneveld overcoming depression to compete into his late 50s. Phil Taylor making toilet roll holders for £52 a week transformed into Luke Littler signing £20 million sponsorship deals. Raymond van Barneveld delivering mail became Michael van Gerwen, earning nearly £12 million in prize money, and darts has proven remarkably effective at transforming lives through precision, dedication, and perfect checkout technique. These stories go beyond rags to riches narratives because they prove that with dedication, the right support, and mental fortitude from the 22-foot throwing line, ordinary people can achieve things nobody expected. Darts didn't just change these players' bank accounts, it fundamentally transformed who they were and what was possible in their lives. Prize funds continue growing while Sky Sports broadcasts reach new global audiences through the PDC Order of Merit system, which means the next generation of transformation stories is already being written right now at Alexandra Palace and beyond.